Hey everybody, it's Beau, and today I'm going to give you the inside look at how multifamily brokers present offers to sellers, what's said during that phase, and how buyers are chosen. Let's go! Before we get to the important stuff, let me address the beard and the scar you're gonna see during this video. Not to mention the two in my chin. A drone, yes, a drone, flew into my face on Monday during a photo shoot for a listing coming out next week. 4 hours in the emergency room, glued together. I'm feeling fine. Let's move on. There are typically 5 phases between taking a listing and receiving offers. Phase 1 is when the broker is putting together marketing material and a Dropbox full of all the due diligence items. Phase 2 is the exposure phase. That's when the broker is putting it on all the websites and email blasting and having phone calls and meeting with buyers. Phase 3 are the inquiries that come in from buyers as a result of the marketing. Phase 4 is the fun part where offers begin coming in, and phase 5 are best and final offers. Now in this video, we're going to handle the last 3 phases, which are inquiries, offers, and best and final offers. Every multifamily broker does things a little bit differently, but in general, what I'm about to show you is what goes down. As inquiries come in, I like to use good old-fashioned Excel spreadsheets. In my spreadsheets, I list all of the buyers right here on the far left column, what they're saying or what they did in the next column, and the offers they turn in the third column. Here's the full list on an actual deal I worked on, but this is generally how long the list was for this particular deal, which came out to a total of 94 buyers called in off the marketing. Then I've summarized those 94 findings with these stats. 13 of them turned in offers, 25 of them expressed interest, signed a CA, but didn't offer. 32 buyers outright rejected the asset, and I give explanations for each one of the reasons why they rejected it. And then there were 24 buyers who initially expressed interest but didn't go as far as to sign a CA agreement. Now you can see how receiving this spreadsheet every couple days with updated buyers is extremely valuable to the seller. They can see that this buyer said it was too small, doesn't like the area, price was too high, doesn't like the area, bad timing, out of the country, prefers a better location. So the power of presenting the buyers this way is you'll see a common theme throughout. For this particular property, the location was an issue. Multifamily brokers can tell sellers something negative about a property to prepare for, but it doesn't have as much weight until 94 data points come in and say the same thing over and over again. There are 2 things to learn from this phase of the deal. Number 1, as a seller, this is fantastic raw information about what the actual market is saying about your property so you can make better decisions. And number 2, for the buyer, you can see how it's very important to communicate with the broker, tell them what you like and don't like about the property, sign the CA when you say you're going to sign the CA, because oftentimes most of the better brokers are trying to communicate as much as they can about you to the seller. As you can imagine, when 13 offers come in from different buyers and they range from 1 to 4 pages each with different language, it can become confusing to the seller. Most brokers will compile all that information into an easy to read format so sellers can make the best decisions. This is how my spreadsheet looks. I have the company name, the actual principal involved, the price offered, price a unit, due diligence period, the closing period after due diligence, did they ask for any closing extensions, what were their total deposits, initial plus the one after due diligence, were there any financing contingencies, who was the broker involved, and the most important column of all, the notes column. The notes column is where most investors die or survive. This is where multifamily brokers are entering in information about the buyers. What are the assets they own? How many do they own? How many units? Are they in the same area? How were they to deal with during the offer period? Did they take suggestions? Did they get off a weird vibe? Did they know them? Have they done deals with them in the past? All of that goes into the notes section, so their seller can make the best decision in the end. There are several things to note on this spreadsheet. First, look at the asterisks by some of these names. That means these buyers have turned in bios on themselves, bios about their companies, the units they own, letters of recommendation from brokers or from bankers, or other information that they want the seller to see that could put them at an advantage. Then, by displaying this information right here, you can see how very quickly strengths and weaknesses among the offers can be displayed. Now let's take a look at the notes section of this deal so you can see what I thought was important to present to the seller. These notes are typically little teasers for the seller so that the next time we actually talk on the phone about the offers that have come in, we dive even deeper, particularly into the notes part of those offers. What's really important for buyers to learn about this phase of the process is that it isn't all about the offer terms. Yes, price, due diligence, and closing periods are important, but everything you say during the process, the vibe you put off, is being absorbed by that broker as they communicate with the seller. Even if a buyer turns in the highest offer and they're putting off the wrong vibe, it's going to have a negative impact. Yeah, I turned in the high 3.8 offer. I'm not sure it's worth that much though with all the renovations it needs. And last is the best and final phase where the listing broker and the seller choose the top 3 or 4 buyers. Here is my best and final spreadsheet tab. We chose 4 buyers among those 13. Here are the offers, the DD period, the closing period, and then of course the all-important notes section. Do you know which one we chose in this real life scenario? I'll give you a second. Now, many of you probably got this right. It wasn't the one with the highest price. In this particular instance, they had a 20-day inspection period, which was attractive, an even faster close. They were paying all cash and literally not getting a loan. Therefore, appraisal wasn't required. They had a higher deposit, which means they were more serious. And of course, it didn't hurt that from the offer tab, I had done 4 deals with this buyer already. Even though this buyer did a lot of things right, one little thing could have changed that totally and he would have never been chosen. For instance, if he sounded like he was really new to the business, or he wouldn't put it on paper in a letter of intent, or if he had a long DD period or sounded sketchy, the whole thing would have gone completely different. So I'll end with this. From the listing period all the way to the turning in the offer period, your reputation and the way you act and the vibe you put off has way more influence on getting chosen as the ultimate buyer than your offer terms. I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you on the next one.